It's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Moxsy on a Borderlands 3 video, and today we're talking about a new flak build. Now this is Falconer flak, a build that I've been working on for a really long time. I have been playing flak on stream a lot and been really struggling trying to find a build, make a build that is pretty much unkillable on flak. People were telling me, oh, it's flak, you just have to get used to going into fight for your life. I tried a lot of things that people recommended me, and it wasn't until I figured out this one thing that is like almost blatantly obvious, but it now allows our flak builds to become unkillable. You can go through the entire Guardian takedown with this build without ever going into fight for your life, the entire Malon takedown without going into fight for your life, and if there is one takeaway that you guys take away from this whole video, it is the strategy that you need to use with this build, not the gear, not the skill tree, but how to play it, which is why this video might be a little bit longer, because I'm going to explain how this works and how you guys can stay extremely tanky with a ton of damage on flak. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, guys, let's get right into it. Alright, guys, so showing on screen right now is the skill tree for Falconer flak. Now, we are fully spec'd into the green tree and red tree of flak, and you guys may know that this is going to give us a ton of damage. This build melts bosses, it melts mobs, and you may be asking, well, where is this survivability coming from? And before you roll your eyes or whatever, our survivability is coming from a stopgap with action skill start. Now, this has been in the game for a very long time. I've used this in builds for a long time, but I was never actually using this properly. I was using this anoint, I was still dying, I was getting frustrated, and it wasn't till a few days ago that I realized that there is a way to use this anoint with Rakk attack, and there is a way that you should not use this anoint with Rakk attack. And when you use it properly, you can stay alive and never go down. Now, what some of you may already know about this, maybe this is new information, but in Borderlands 3, there is something called Health Gate. Now, Health Gate is a mechanic that has existed in the game. It's not a glitch, it's not an exploit, that stops the player from getting one-shot by enemies. Any attack that is, I believe it's 50% in Borderlands 3, any attack while you are above 50% health, instead of bringing you to death or below 50% health, will have a cutoff point. That cutoff point is your health gate, and no attack will bring you lower than that while you are above health gate. This is a mechanic that exists to stop the player from getting one shot from frustrating attacks. Now, there are certain enemies like One Punch that bypass health gate, but besides that, you will have health gate to everything in the game. Now, I was misusing this because I was just spamming out my racks before, and by spamming them out, I wouldn't have them when I drop below health gate, or they'd be on cooldown. And if you spam this too much, if you spam your racks too much, you'll actually break the immunity on your stopgap, and you'll do it again, and you won't get any immunity. So the way to use this, and the way that we use this in this build, is by abusing health gate. Now, while playing this build, and I should have gameplay playing right now, whenever you drop below health gate or you get health gated, you are going to immediately launch your racks. Now, we are using Falconer's Feast and Flock and Load, which Falconer's Feast, flak launches 2 racks per rack attack. That's 7% of max health per rack, so that's 14%. With Flock and Load, we're getting an additional 2 racks. We're getting 28% of our maximum health when we use this. That alone will get you above health gate. Now, you're only immune for 5 seconds, and during these 5 seconds, you are going to, well, when you get hit to health gate, you're going to use your rack attack. That is going to bring you back above health gate, and your other main goal is to kill an enemy. Now, this skill used to be bugged. It used to suck. It no longer does. Rage and Recover, when we kill an enemy, we're going to get 24% of our missing health over 3 seconds. And this, along with Falconer's Feast, gives us crazy health regen. In the gameplay, you'll see that my health bar is just shooting up, and it is able to do so uninterrupted because we're going to be immune. Now, this build kind of plays, if you guys know, or if you played Krieg had an Unleash the Beast skill that when you drop to Health Gate, you would use Unleash the Beast and you would jump back up to your Health Gate. It's kind of plays like that. You're gonna want to keep an eye on your health while playing this build. It does take some getting used to, but if you do this properly and you do not spam out your Rakk attacks, but you use them intelligently, when you get health gated, you're going to be able to stay alive just as well as any of the other characters as Flak, which is incredible and why I'm so happy with this build. Now, in terms of weapons, you can use anything that you'd like. This build works better with multi-pellet weapons with high fire rates. Things like the Monarch, things like the Reflex, things like the Light Show are all amazing. If you want to use the Sniper, the Skull Masher is awesome. Things like the Flipper are nice. The Gargoyle works well. There are a lot of options, but the reason we want to use multi-pellet weapons is because of head count. A core part of a lot of Flak builds, whenever we score a critical hit, there's a chance for action skill cooldown. With Megavore and high pellet weapons, you're going to be able to spam Rakk attacks and always have Rakk attacks available, because the only way that you will die is if you get health gated and you don't have a Rakk attack available. Then that gets tricky. So this build not as great using rocket launchers, but you can clear the whole bridge on Malawan takedown. You can clear crystals in Guardian takedown without ever going down, because you're going to be able to always have a Rakk attack available. I've never struggled with cooldown with this build. Now, we are always going to be rocking a Cosmic Stalker. Now, I have a ton of different Cosmic Stalkers, and I'll change them out for whatever weapon I'm using. I've got like an Atlas one. This build does work really, really well with the OPQ. I kind of wanted to use the OPQ because we got a level cap increase coming, and I'm not going to be able to use it for very much longer. So I've been using it with OPQ a lot. That's really fun. And there are some ways to increase the damage and decrease the damage that you're doing that I'll talk about, but consecutive hits, 100 ASC, 200 splash, next 2 mags is really good. Now, this build does not focus on Rakk attack damage. It instead focuses on keeping up your damage, doing a ton of damage, and just plowing through enemies. I do have a build that, if you guys are interested and want to see, that just focuses on Rakk attack damage, can hit for 15 to 20 mil every time you just hit with Rakks. But we're using our Rakks for utility, and one really cool thing that you can use with these high fire rate weapons is overclocked and second intention. That's going to give you reload speed and critical kill reload speed, as well as fire rate and fire rate after reloading. These two skills synergize really well. And one really cool thing that you can do, for example, if you look at the bottom of my screen, when I reload my OPQ, I'm going to get a fire rate boost. This fire rate boost is going to last with the OPQ that I have, which synergizes really well, exactly the amount of time that my fire rate buff is active. Now, I did it a little slow there, but this is going to straight up just increase our DPS, because we're going to have faster reload speed and we're always going to have faster fire rate. That is going to allow us to kill enemies faster, and we want to kill as many enemies as we can as fast as we can, because we're using Rage and Recover. Now, this synergizes really, really well with our skill tree, and I'll break down the skill tree more, but one of the biggest things about this is because we're going to be going immune, and then we're getting health gated, we're becoming immune, and then we're going to get our health up. When we do that, we're basically always going to be able to upkeep power inside. Power inside, when you activate it at full health, you're getting plus 25% damage. Healing is not an issue with this build, and we get full use out of Power Inside. Power Inside plus Megavore with all of Flak's Red Tree and Green Tree, and with the Cosmic Stalker changes. Cosmic Stalker Big Game is now boosting the damage in Interplanetary Stalker. This build just does absurd damage. It has crazy survivability and works really well with pretty much anything you toss at it. Favorite weapons are OPQ, Monarch, Reflex, and the Light Show. I like the Skull Masher. Smog is cool. Not a big fan of the Lyuda, Beacon, Gargoyle. One thing to incentivize you using splash damage weapons like the Gargoyle is splash damage weapons can come with splash damage annoyance, and if you do want to get the most out of your Rakks, 200 splash will actually increase the damage of your Rakks. That's what I use in the other Rakk attack focus build, but it's just Rakk damage. But because we're not really focused that, we're more focused on utility. we don't need to use that, just an FYI. Other things that you can use are in its piss. Because you are going to be immune, you can carefully use its pisses to debuff enemies, get yourself ready for a lot of damage. Your immunity is going to go away and just blow through things. Really, really nice to use in its piss. Or a mitosis hunter seeker transfusions. I've messed around with them. They're not really worth using. We already have so much health that we do not need them. For our artifact, I've been using a Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge. If for some reason you are having survivability issues, you can switch to like an auto idol, but Pearl here with more gun damage, especially if you can grab one with fire rate, is going to be amazing for this build. And for modifiers, right now there's easy modifiers, so I can't really speak too much on the modifier front, but I would be rocking like Speed Demon and Holy Crit would be the two that I would probably focus on. And yeah, guys, that is it for the build. It destroys all things on Mayhem 10. This has become my new favorite flak build because I hate going into fight for my life. It frustrates me, and this is one of the flak builds that you're pretty much guaranteed to not go into fight for your life if you play it right. I know it can be a little tricky to get the timing right of things and to get used to how it works, but I promise you guys, you put the time into getting this gear, get this build going, it'll pay off immensely for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch y'all in the next one. If you did learn anything new, if you enjoyed the build, please drop a like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. Sorry for my phone going off. That was me, not you. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.
It's alright.